The alien council chamber was filled with laughter. The sound echoed through the walls of shining crystal as leaders of different species sat around a vast round table. They laughed because of one strange order that had spread across the galaxy. A human had been chosen to guard the ancient Stargate. To the aliens, it was a joke. Humans were considered weak, short-lived, and fragile compared to most species. Many believed they were clever with machines, but not warriors. The idea that a single human could guard the most important gate in the galaxy felt like madness. The Kalari Chancellor, a tall figure with silver skin, smirked as he spoke. "Is this some kind of game, placing a human at the gate? Perhaps we should also let a child guard the treasury." The chamber burst into another wave of laughter. But not everyone laughed. One alien, General Korath of the Dravari, kept silent. His crimson eyes stared at the hollow screen where the human stood alone at the gate. The man wore simple armor, old and scarred. His face showed no fear, no smile, only calm silence. Outside, rumors grew. Traders whispered that no one who challenged the human had ever crossed the gate. Raiders had tried, smugglers had tried, even mercenary fleets had tried. All had failed. No ship passed, no intruder lived. Still the council mocked. They told themselves it was luck, or maybe the human had secret alien help. Soon, they said, someone will break him, someone will pass. The Stargate itself was not ordinary. It was the oldest structure in known space, floating at the edge of a dead system. Its surface shimmered with strange light. Legends said it connected to a forgotten empire. Others said it was a prison for something dark. Whatever the truth, the gate was valuable, too valuable to leave unguarded. The human's name was Marcus Hale, once a soldier of Earth. Little else was known. No one understood why he was chosen, or why he never left his post. Day and night he stood at the gate, like a shadow carved in stone. The first scenes of his story spread like fire. Aliens watched recordings where Marcus faced a band of raiders. They had ships armed with plasma cannons, soldiers with bio-enhanced strength. Everyone thought he would fall, but he did not. He used clever traps, human technology, and raw courage to turn their numbers into weakness. When the smoke cleared, wreckage drifted in space, and Marcus still stood. Some aliens began to question their laughter, but still the council ignored the warning signs. They believed humans were unpredictable animals, not warriors of legend. One night, as the council met again, alarms rang across the chamber. A scout fleet had entered the system of the Stargate. The aliens expected Marcus to retreat or call for help, but the human did not. He stood his ground, a single figure against the darkness of space. General Korath leaned forward, his voice low. "Mock him all you want, but watch closely. This human is no ordinary guard." The hollow screen showed the enemy fleet moving closer, weapons glowing, engines roaring. Marcus adjusted his old armor and checked his rifle. Then he looked straight at the recording drone, his eyes calm, steady, and unafraid. For a moment, the laughter in the council died. Silence fell over the chamber. It was as if the human could see through the screen, as if he was warning them all. And then, in the deep void of space, the first battle began. The enemy fleet drifted closer to the Stargate, dark ships shaped like knives cutting through the void. These were not simple raiders. They were the Skarn, merciless scavengers who stripped entire worlds of life. They came laughing, thinking the human was only a toy standing before them. Their commander, a tall insectoid creature with gleaming mandibles, broadcast his voice across open space. "Step aside, human. You are nothing. You are weak. You are alone. Surrender now and I may spare your life." Marcus Hale did not move. He stood before the shining arc of the gate, his rifle in his hands, his voice calm, steady. "If you want the gate, you will have to pass through me." The Skarn laughed. The sound was sharp and cruel. They unleashed their first attack. A barrage of plasma fire lit up the void. The council, watching through the hollow feed, leaned forward, certain that Marcus would be vaporized in seconds. But the human was ready. Hidden mines scattered around the gate exploded with precision, ripping through the Skarn's forward ships. Debris spun across the battlefield. Alarms rang inside enemy vessels. Marcus had set traps days before. He knew they would come. He studied every weakness, every blind spot. His mind worked like a machine of war. The Skarn grew furious. They sent boarding ships filled with warriors, monstrous creatures with claws and armored hides. The council held their breath. Even General Korath clenched his fists. No human can face that alone, one alien whispered. But Marcus did not face them with brute strength. He fought with human unpredictability. He used smoke, blinding flares, electromagnetic bursts. He made the battlefield confusing. Every step of the Skarn soldiers led into another trap. Corridors collapsed, explosives triggered, ambushes sprang from the shadows. The recording drones caught every detail. Marcus fought like a ghost, appearing and vanishing. His rifle struck with deadly accuracy. When his bullets ran out, he used blades. When blades broke, he used fire. When fire faded, he used his fists. His body moved with the stubborn will of a man who refused to fall. One Skarn warrior, larger than the rest, cornered him near the gate's arch, claws ready to tear him apart. The council gasped. The end seemed certain, but Marcus let the creature strike. At the last second, he twisted, using its weight against it. With a roar, he orked the beast into the glowing field of the gate. The energy tore it apart in an instant. Silence fell. The Skarn who remained fled. Their fleet in chaos, their commander screamed in rage, but even he pulled back, beaten by one man. The chamber of the alien council was quiet. Their laughter had turned to disbelief. One leader muttered, "Impossible. No human should fight like this." Another whispered, "He is not a man. He is a weapon." But General Korath's eyes burned brighter. He spoke slowly. "He is more than a weapon. He is a wall, and no one crosses a wall unless it falls." Meanwhile, Marcus stood at the gate, blood on his armor, smoke rising around him. His chest heaved with exhaustion, yet his eyes stayed calm. His voice whispered to himself, "Not yet. The real test has not begun." The recording ended, but the image of the lone human standing tall in the silence of space spread across the galaxy. From pirate dens to royal courts, whispers rose. The human at the gate could not be broken. And far away in the darkness beyond the stars, other enemies began to take notice. They prepared, sharper, stronger, more dangerous than the Skarn, for the gate held secrets they all desired, and the human was the only one in their path. The first test had ended, but the war for the gate was only beginning. The galaxy no longer laughed. Whispers of the human at the gate spread faster than light. Smugglers who once mocked him now avoided his system. Pirates who dreamed of glory spoke his name with fear. Children of distant colonies asked their parents, "Is it true? No one can pass the human." Inside the alien council, the mood had changed. Their laughter was gone. Instead, they argued in heavy voices. Some said the human was a threat. Others said he was a tool. One counselor slammed his fist on the table. "He is only a man, flesh and blood. If we send the right army, he will fall." But General Korath spoke softly. "And how many armies will you sacrifice before you understand? He is not standing there by chance. He is standing there for a reason." Curiosity grew. Spies were sent to watch Marcus Hale. They studied his movements. They tracked his patterns. They searched his past. What they found was not comfort. It was fear. Marcus was a soldier from Earth, once part of wars no alien ever knew. Battles fought on broken worlds where humans stood outnumbered 100-1 and still held the line. His scars told the story, his silence told the rest. Drones captured images of his camp near the gate. It was simple, harsh, but filled with human touches. A small carved emblem of Earth, a worn photo sealed in metal, a journal filled with words no alien could read. Spies whispered that he spoke to the photo at night, promising someone far away that he would never leave his post. The aliens began to realize something darker. Marcus was not there to win. Marcus was there never to lose. Then came the second challenge, a coalition fleet from 3 rival species, proud warriors who swore they would not return in shame. Their ships entered the system with banners shining. Their leaders broadcast messages to the galaxy. "Watch us tear down the human myth. Watch us break him." The battle that followed was worse than the first. Waves of soldiers stormed the gate, armed with weapons meant to pierce armor, armed with machines that could burn planets. The council watched in silence, their eyes wide. Marcus fought like a storm. Every tactic was strange, unpredictable, brutal. He set traps inside traps. He lured ships into asteroid fields. He hacked enemy signals to turn them against each other. He used every weakness, every mistake, until the battlefield itself seemed to obey his will. Hours turned to days. Wreckage floated in orbit. The coalition broke apart. Soldiers surrendered. Commanders screamed in despair. And still the humans stood. The whispers of the galaxy grew louder. The joke had turned into a legend, and the legend was spreading fear. One alien captain captured after the battle gave his last words before execution. He is not guarding the gate is guarding him. His words echoed across the stars. The council could no longer ignore it. Their fear turned into suspicion. Why would the human be chosen for this? What secret lies inside the gate, they asked, but no one had an answer. One night, General Korath stood alone before the council's great window. The stars stretched endlessly before him, his voice heavy. We mocked him, now we fear him. But soon, if we do not understand him, we will bow to him. Meanwhile, Marcus stood at the gate, silent as always, but his eyes never left the horizon. He knew more were coming. Stronger enemies, greater tests, he whispered again to himself. Not yet. The true battle has not begun. And in the farthest reaches of space, something ancient stirred, a darkness waiting behind the gate, a power that made even the bravest alien generals tremble when they dreamed of it. The fear of one man was only the beginning. The galaxy had no idea what waited beyond. The wreckage of broken fleets drifted around the Stargate like a graveyard in space. Every ship that tried to pass had been shattered, and yet the humans still stood, silent, unmoving, watching. Rumors spread faster than light, taverns whispered, soldiers spoke in low voices. Even rulers of powerful empires asked the same question. Why would a single human guard such a gate? What was hidden behind it? The council demanded answers. Scientists were ordered to scan the Stargate. Priests chanted old legends. Spies tried to slip close, but the gate resisted them all. Energy storms flared when they approached. Strange signals pulsed through their machines. Then came the discovery. The gate was not only a passage, it was a lock. Deep inside it rested codes older than any known civilization. Codes that matched none of the archives. The meaning was clear. The gate was guarding something. And Marcus Hale was not there by accident. The council grew restless. One voice shouted, "This is not protection, this is control. The human is hiding something from us," another cried. "We must open the gate. We must see what lies beyond." But General Korath warned them, his eyes hard. Perhaps he guards not for his people, but for all of us. Perhaps what waits beyond is not meant to be free. Meanwhile, in the silent void, Marcus stood before the shimmering arch. His hand touched the cold surface. For a moment his eyes closed, and he whispered words no drone could fully record. "Not yet. Not while I still breathe." Strange things began to happen. The gate pulsed with light whenever Marcus drew near. Alien scouts reported that the energy fields bent around him, as if the gate recognized him, as if he was its chosen key. Whispers of terror spread. Was the human connected to the gate? Did he carry knowledge no one else could hold? One night, under the cold stars, Marcus heard the signal, a voice that came not from space but from the gate itself, a deep rumble like thunder across eternity. "The seal weakens, hold fast, protector." Marcus's jaw tightened. His grip on his weapon grew stronger. He knew the truth could not remain hidden much longer. Soon after, the largest fleet yet arrived. Not raiders, not mercenaries, but the Empire of Veyron, proud conquerors of dozens of worlds. Their warlord declared across the stars, "We will break the human, we will take the gate, and the galaxy will bow to us." The battle began with firestorms. The void lit up with blazing trails of plasma. Marcus's traps tore through the first wave. But this time the enemy pressed harder, their weapons more advanced, their soldiers more disciplined. For the first time the council feared Marcus would fall. Yet something extraordinary happened. The gate itself shimmered, its energy flared brighter as Marcus fought. His traps struck with perfect timing, his aim sharpened, his speed quickened. It was as if the gate gave him strength, as if it too wanted him to win. The Veyron forces were broken, their warlord slain, their fleet burned to ashes. And still Marcus stood, his armor scarred, his body bleeding, but his eyes unshaken. The galaxy was shaken. Whispers turned into terror. Some believed Marcus was no longer a man. Some believed he was a guardian chosen by something beyond understanding. In the council chamber, silence reigned. No one mocked, no one laughed. One counselor finally spoke. his voice trembling. If the gate is a lock, then what monster sleeps behind it? And in the void, Marcus whispered to himself again, "Not yet, but soon." For deep within the gate something ancient stirred, its prison cracking, its hunger waking, and only one human stood between it and the galaxy. The galaxy no longer doubted the human, but doubt had turned into fear. Leaders who once laughed now whispered in secret chambers. Generals who once mocked now clenched their fists. The truth was clear. If the human remained at the gate, no one could ever claim its power. And so, they gathered, fleets from across the stars, armies from rival empires, mercenaries bought with promises of treasure, zealots convinced they were chosen to open the path. Never before had so many enemies united for one purpose, to break the human. The sky around the dead system burned with the light of thousands of ships. Their shadows stretched across the void, their weapons locked on the single figure standing before the Stargate. Marcus Hale did not move, his armor dented from old battles, his rifle heavy in his hand, his eyes cold and calm. Behind him the gate pulsed with strange light, as if it too felt the coming storm. The first wave struck, endless fire rained upon him, plasma lit the black, asteroids shattered, space itself seemed to scream, but Marcus had prepared. Mines hidden in the wreckage ignited, enemy ships ripped apart, boarding pods shredded, chaos spread before the first hour ended. Still the attackers pressed on, wave after wave, soldiers poured into the gate's orbit, beasts bred for war, machines taller than cities, each one certain they would be the one to bring him down. But Marcus fought with the fury of a storm. His traps turned the battlefield into a maze of death. Corridors collapsed under hidden charges, enemy signals twisted into lies by his hacked codes. Every mistake became their doom. The council watched in silence, their eyes wide, their voices trembling. No one laughed now. No one spoke of weakness. They saw the truth. The human was not simply guarding the gate, he was holding back the galaxy itself. But the siege did not end. Days turned into weeks. The fleets did not stop. Marcus bled, his armor cracked, his strength faded, but still he fought. Every step forward by the enemy was bought with rivers of fire and oceans of wreckage. At night, when the stars grew silent, Marcus sat by the gate, his hand resting on its cold surface. The gate whispered in low tones, only he could hear. "Hold, Protector, the seal weakens, but not yet. Hold." And Marcus whispered back, "I will not fall." Then came the greatest weapon, a world breaker, a cannon that could burn moons to dust, dragged into the system by chains of gravity, its power unmatched. The fleets roared with triumph. They believed at last the human would die. Marcus stood alone, staring at the weapon, his lips curved into the smallest of smiles. He pressed a single command. Deep mines hidden in the orbit of the dead planet ignited. The world breaker tore apart in a storm of fire, its pieces falling like burning rain. The enemies screamed in despair, their fleets broke into chaos, commanders begged for retreat, soldiers cursed his name, but none could pass, none could touch the gate. And still Marcus stood, his body weak, his armor broken, but his spirit unshaken. The whispers of the galaxy changed again. No longer fear, no longer disbelief, but something stranger, something older. They began to call him by new names. The last sentinel, the immovable wall, the guardian of the gate. In the council chamber, silence reigned. Finally, General Korath spoke, his voice heavy. "We thought him a soldier, we thought him a guard, but now I see, he is more than that. He is a shield, and we do not know what he shields us from." Behind Marcus, the gate pulsed brighter. Cracks of light ran across its surface. Each battle weakened the seal. Each victory brought the true danger closer, and Marcus knew it. His eyes turned toward the stars, whispering to himself, "Not yet, but soon." For the siege was not the end. It was only the warning. The real enemy had not yet come, and when it did, the galaxy would understand why no one ever passed the human. The battlefield around the Stargate was silent at last. Wreckage drifted like broken bones in the void. The siege had ended, but the scars of war remained. Marcus Hale stood alone as always, his armor shattered, his body heavy with wounds, yet his eyes unshaken. Across the galaxy, fear turned into obsession. Rulers demanded to know the truth. What was this human protecting? Why had no one passed him? Why did the gate grow brighter with each battle? The council gathered in secret, their voices low. This is not simple defense, one whispered. The human is hiding something from us, another hissed. He is guarding power, power that could make us gods. But General Korath spoke with a grim tone, or power that could end us all. Then the revelation came. Scholars decoded fragments from the gate's signals. The energy patterns matched old myths, legends of an ancient predator race sealed away beyond the stars, creatures older than any empire, a hunger that had once devoured whole galaxies. The gate was not just a path, it was a prison. The council trembled. Their laughter of the past now seemed foolish. Their fear now seemed too late. The human was not protecting the galaxy from intruders. He was protecting the galaxy from what slept behind the gate, and Marcus Hale knew it. He sat at the foot of the gate, his head bowed, his voice whispering to the photo he always carried. I promised you I would hold the line, even if the whole galaxy mocked me, even if they never understood. Then the gate pulsed with light, brighter than ever, the surface cracked with golden energy, the seal weakening. A voice echoed not through space but through every mind that listened. Protector, the time draws near. The council fell into panic. The gate is speaking, they cried. It knows him. Marcus rose to his feet, his rifle in hand. Though his body was broken, his voice carried across the void, strong, steady, unshaken. You wanted to know why I stand here. You wanted to know why no one ever passed me. It is because behind this gate waits something worse than your armies, worse than your wars, something you are not ready to face. I am not guarding the gate for me. I am guarding it for all of you. The council chamber shook with silence. No one dared speak. No one dared mock. Their eyes were filled with terror, for the human they once ridiculed had become the only wall between them and extinction. And far beyond, in the endless dark, the ancient predators stirred. Their whispers leaked through the cracks, voices that promised destruction, voices that clawed into alien dreams. Some woke screaming in the nights. HT. Convinced the human was the only thing keeping the nightmare from awakening, Marcus stood firm, his blood dripping, his armor scarred, yet his spirit burned brighter than the gate itself. He whispered again to the void, not yet, not while I still breathe. But he knew the truth. The gate would not hold forever. The final battle was coming, and when it came, the galaxy would learn that their laughter had once mocked the only savior they had. The gate shuddered with light, cracks of golden fire spread across its ancient frame. Every fleet in the galaxy turned their eyes toward it. Every soldier felt a chill in their bones. They all knew the seal was breaking. Marcus Hale stood before the gate, his armor broken, his body scarred, his hands trembling, yet his eyes burned like iron. He whispered to himself, "This is it, the last stand." From the depths of the gate came shadows, not ships, not soldiers, but shapes older than time, colossal beings of hunger and claws. Their voices thundered across the minds of every living being. We are free, we are endless, we are the end of all. The council fell into chaos. Leaders cried out in fear, we must flee. Some shouted, we must fight. Others screamed, but General Korath stood silent, his crimson eyes fixed on the human. No, watch him. He is the shield. The predators surged forward, tearing through the wreckage, devouring light itself, their power unmatched, their hunger endless. Fleets that dared to fire were swallowed whole, their ships vanishing like sparks in a storm. Yet Marcus did not retreat. He planted his feet before the gate, raised his weapon, and roared into the void. You will not pass. His traps exploded in waves. Asteroids turned into firestorms. Hidden charges ripped through the first of the predators, but more came, endless, unstoppable. Marcus bled, his strength fading, yet he fought on, his rifle cracked, his blade shattered. Still he fought with his fists, his will, his unbroken spirit. Every strike screamed the same truth. He would not let them through. Then something incredible happened. Alien soldiers, who once mocked him, who once called him weak, arrived. Fleets that had fought against him now turned to fight beside him, inspired by his defiance. Ships formed a wall around the gate. Generals bowed their pride. We fight with the human, they declared. The void became a storm, fleets burning, predators screaming, Marcus in the center, his voice carrying across the stars. Hold the line. The battle raged until the void itself seemed to split apart, and then the gate spoke again, its voice a thunder that shook every soul. Protector, Your time is now. One last choice. One last stand. Marcus placed his hand on the gate, his blood staining its light. The crack sealed with a burning glow. The predators shrieked in rage, clawing at the barrier, but the gate began to close. The fleets screamed in awe, watching the human fuse his life into the lock, his body shaking, his voice calm. Not yet, not ever, not while I still breathe. Light consumed the battlefield. The predators were hurled back into the prison, their voices fading into silence. The gate sealed once more, calm returned to the void. When the light cleared, Marcus Hale stood no longer. His armor lay empty before the gate. The man who was mocked, the man who was feared, the man who never surrendered, had given his life to keep the galaxy safe. Silence spread across the stars. Then whispers rose, whispers that grew into legend. No one ever passed him, not enemy fleets, not ancient predators, not even death itself. In the council chamber, General Korath stood tall, his voice heavy but proud. He was not guarding the gate for humans. He was guarding it for all of us. He was the shield of the galaxy, and none ever passed him. And across the stars, his name became eternal. Marcus Hale, the last sentinel, the immovable wall, the guardian of the gate, the human who stood alone and never let the galaxy fall.